Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a high-stakes story of political assassination and the absolutely shocking verdict that came after. It's a story that teaches a timeless lesson about power, about justice, and, well, about the kind of leader you decide to be.
So let's just jump right in with the big question that shapes this entire story. Imagine someone takes out your biggest rival for you. Do you thank them, give them a promotion, or do you do something completely different? How you answer that, well, it says everything about you as a leader. All right, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a kingdom that's just gripped by fear. We're talking about a moment of major political instability. The king is weak, and that has created this dangerous power vacuum that someone is just itching to fill.
This one line tells you everything. This isn't just a king mourning his top general. No, this is a total collapse of confidence. And when a king loses his nerve, the whole country gets scared. It's like the first rule of power, right? A vacuum will always be filled, and usually it's by the most ruthless person in the room.
So let's meet the key players whose lives are about to smash into each other. First up, you've got Ish-Bosheth. He's the failing king who's clearly lost his grip. Then, you have two of his own army captains, Baanah and Rechab, who can smell weakness and opportunity a mile away. And finally, there's David, the rival king in waiting, the guy everyone's betting is going to take over.
And this is what really cranks up the pressure. It's not just that the king is weak. His entire family line, his dynasty, is hanging by a single thread. The only other person who could inherit the throne is Mephibosheth, a disabled child. The whole political system is just incredibly shaky.
All right, so now let's focus on our two captains, Baanah and Rechab. They look at this whole mess, this national crisis, and they don't see a disaster. Nope. They see a once-in-a-lifetime career move. This is just a classic example of ambitious guys who think they know what their new boss wants, but have completely, totally misjudged his character.
So they cook up this absolutely ruthless 5-step plan. It's cold. It's calculated. They pick the quietest time of day, use a pretty clever excuse to get inside the palace, and then they murder the king while he's at his most vulnerable, taking a nap. They really believe this brutal act is their golden ticket to a bright future under the new king.
And they don't just kill him, they cut off his head to have undeniable proof of what they did. Then they travel all night long carrying this gruesome trophy because they are absolutely convinced that it's the ultimate gift for David. They think it's the key that's going to unlock a huge promotion.
Okay, so this is it, the climax of the whole story. The two assassins finally show up at David's camp. They're exhausted, for sure, but they are just buzzing with excitement. This is the moment they have risked absolutely everything for.
They present the head and launch into their big, prepared speech. But listen to how they frame it. They don't say, hey, we murdered your rival to get ahead. No, they say, look, here's your enemy's head. God used us to bring you justice. They're trying to wrap up a treacherous murder in the language of divine will and loyal service. It's quite the spin.
So, Baanah and Rechab are just standing there, probably expecting a pat on the back, a bag of gold, maybe a cushy job in the new government. But what they get instead is a shocking lesson in what justice really means. David doesn't miss a beat. He immediately points to something that's happened before. And this is a masterstroke, really. It shows that his sense of justice isn't random, it's consistent. He's basically signaling to them, you guys have made a huge, fatal mistake about who you think I am.
And that's the heart of it, right? This massive gap between what they thought would happen and what actually did. They saw themselves as heroes, bringing good news, expecting a big reward. David saw them as wicked, treacherous men who deserved one thing and one thing only, death.
And then David just lets them have it. This isn't some quiet political calculation. It is a thundering moral judgment. He points out that their crime is even worse than the last guy's. They killed an innocent man, not on a battlefield, but in the safety of his own home, in his own bed. For David, that's a line you just don't cross. It's an act of unforgivable treachery.
So let's look at how this all played out. Because what David did next wasn't just about punishment. No, it was about sending a powerful, public message to the entire nation about what his rule would look like.
And just look at the stark contrast here. The assassins, they're executed. Their hands and feet, the very things they used to commit the crime, are cut off, and their bodies are put on public display as a warning. Meanwhile, the head of their victim, Ish-Bosheth, is treated with respect and given an honorable burial.
It's public shame for the murderers and public honor for the murdered.
I mean, this was a masterclass in political communication. The leadership lesson is crystal clear, isn't it? You define the culture of your organization or your kingdom by what you reward and what you punish. And David just announced, loud and clear, assassins and traitors will not prosper here.
And all of this leaves us with one last really fascinating question. Was David's reaction just pure moral outrage at a horrible crime, or was it also a brilliant political move? I mean, he showed everyone he was a just ruler while at the same time getting rid of two dangerous men who had just proved they'd kill their own boss. Maybe. For a truly great leader, it has to be both.